Friends, let us start with our class and let your friends arrive by the way. Okay. So today we are going to, in the first place, what I felt in the last class is few of you are like having some troubles with understanding something about hybridization. So I have decided for today we will start with that topic of hybridization in the first place. Okay, like because this hybridization not only just pops up in organic chemistry, it is also there in inorganic chemistry. Okay, so when it comes to inorganic chemistry, there also you are having like you have to face this topic, hybridization. So for hybridization, the basic thing you should know is why we have taken carbon for explaining hybridization. Very simple answer. This carbon, okay, this carbon is a tetravalent element. Okay, it is a tetravalent element. So now you can see that most of the elements other than that in carbon group, they are not tetravalent, or you cannot say that they are just a tetravalent. Okay, for carbon, it's like it is a tetravalent element and it is having s orbitals as well as p orbitals. Okay, so mixing up of this x and p orbitals all together, so you can assess it in a better way. Like we can take that carbon atom as an example in an easier way. Okay, so that it would be better for us to handle this topic. Like this hybridization, to understand something about hybridization, it makes our job easy with the help of carbon atom. Okay, so with the help of carbon atom, for us, it will be easy to understand in a better way about hybridization. So we are going to explain hybridization in terms of carbon atom in the first place. After that, when it comes to this coordination chemistry, transition elements, when it comes to hybridization, etc., there you already have the basic idea, and then you are working on it, working on whatever there is already in your mind. You are working on it means it would make your job easy. Okay, so it is like you are learning alphabets first, then you are learning some words, then you are learning to what join some words with appropriate what is, was, etc., these things. Okay, connection of the letters, connection of words, etc., and then you are making a sentence. It is simply like that. So for hybridization, we are taking carbon atom, and this carbon atom is what? It is a tetravalent, and it is having a property known as catenation. Catenation means formation of long chain. For that, for this hybridization, this catenation doesn't matter. For hybridization, only thing that matters is the electronic configuration of whichever element we are handling. Okay, whichever element we are handling, its electronic configuration is the one playing a major role in hybridization. Okay, so for hybridization, or when you are looking at hybridization, what should you know in the first place is electronic configuration. Do you remember in the very first class I have taken, it was about electronic configuration? Do you remember? Harshankar was in the class, I remember.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so that electronic configuration and its importance we were talking in the first class. So these classes, from these classes, uh, why this electronic configuration is important, I told you that you will get that answer in the further classes when it comes to other topics. So one of the topic is hybridization. So good evening all of you. Today we are going to discuss in detail about hybridization. Okay, so for students who have come late, I am asking all of you to be at least 5 to 10 minutes early to arrive in the class. Okay. This is just because not for an extra few minutes in the class. This is not for extra few minutes in the class or for taking my class. It is not for that. It is exclusively for all of us to get our audio system, video system, everything in order, to get devoid of all the network issues and all those things that would interrupt our classes. Okay, to avoid this, all of you should be here at least 10 or 5 minutes earlier. That is the maximum. Okay, so if it is 6 classes at 6 means 5:55 would be your time to arrive in the class. Okay, so from like we faculties will be here at least 10 minutes prior to the class. So from then onwards you are free to move into the class. Okay, so students, first question for you is, in the last class we were discussing some basic principles in organic chemistry, and among which we have to discuss on this hybridization. Okay, so we were like, I was thinking, okay, most of you know something about hybridization, but the last class itself I felt that most of you have some or other confusions and doubts about hybridization. So today we are going to start our class with this topic of hybridization, number one. Number two, anybody having any doubt while I am taking class, you are you are supposed to ask me any doubts or any confusion. Sometimes I will be taking classes, and sometimes in a up to a level, up to an extent you have understood, and from that onwards you would be simply blank, or you would be having some confusions. Okay, so at that time you can interfere, can boldly or dare to interfere, no issues, we are appreciating it. Okay, so you can interfere in the class and you can tell us faculties that up to this point I have understood the concept, from then onwards I am having confusions, or this is the doubt I am having from then on. With pleasure we will explain it to you once again, no issues, because for you to understand this concept is very important when it comes to any competitive exams. Okay, from there you, if you have that concept thoroughly read in your mind, means from there you can work out. Okay, in solving the problems you can easily work out from whatever concept there is in your mind. Okay, so let us start our class with that point. Okay, understanding the concept is very important. Okay, so now let us start our classes with hybridization. We are going to take our classes. So hybridization is our topic. So how many of you are having one or other doubt about this topic, hybridization? You can put on the raise hand icon, no issues, because it is not an easy topic. Hybridization is not at all an easy topic. I'm not telling you with one class you can understand all of the concept among this hybridization. No, it is not like that. Okay, hybridization is not a tough topic. Only trouble is you should know the electronic configuration, and you should understand that how this mixing up or hybridization is taking place. That's all. Okay, so the first point is, what is the number of electrons in carbon atom? Harini, can you tell me the number of electrons in carbon atom?
6.
6 number of electrons. Okay, so earlier in our lower classes we learned that there is K shell and L shell. K shell is filled with 2 electrons and L shell is filled with 4 electrons. Likewise we have learned. Okay, but later we have learned that this shell concept is not the way to express it, isn't it? We understood that this shell concept is not just that much right. So they splitted this shells into orbitals. So there is K shell having 1s orbital, L shell having 2s and 2p orbitals. Okay, M shell is having what all? 3s, 3p, then 3d orbitals. Likewise, and so on, it is going. Okay, it is going on in that sequence. So now what we should do? You should arrange the atoms, sorry, electrons in each orbitals according to the order. Okay, and what is the order? In the case of carbon atom, 1s shell is present, 2s shell is present, and 2p shell is also present. All these ideas are clear. As much I think all of you should be knowing already. And in 1s orbital, there is one plus half and one minus half electron present. Then 2x orbital is the next energy level. So there also one plus half and one minus half electron is present. But 2p orbital is not just a single orbital, but it is degenerate. 3 orbitals are there, means there is one 2px, one 2py, and one 2pz orbitals present in what? 2p orbital. So 2p orbital is equally split into 3. One is 2px, another one is 2py, another one is 2pz. And how they are oriented? One is like, it is like an x, y, and z axis. In x axis, there is one double dumbbell. Likewise, in one y, there is one double dumbbell. Likewise, in z, likewise in z, there is one double dumbbell. Okay. P orbital is in the shape of a double dumbbell. P orbital shape is what? A dumbbell shape. It is not double dumbbell, it is dumbbell shape. Okay. Dumbbell shaped orbital, that is p orbital. S orbital shape is what? S orbital is in spherical shape, isn't it? It is a spherical shaped orbital. Okay, so what happens when a spherical orbital, see, a spherical orbital is what? Like a globe, a ball, or something like that. And there is a dumbbell shape. Dumbbell shape means what? One of the lobe is long and another lobe is also equally long downwards. One is upward long lobe, and another one is downward long lobe. Okay, so this plus this, that is the spherical one and the dumbbell one is getting mixed up, means it will give you a dumbbell, but it is having a drastic shape change, like there is a big lobe and there is a small lobe, and this big lobe is not long, but it is more in a spherical pattern. Okay, likewise one hybridized orbital is formed. Okay, as much is clear. Anybody having any doubt regarding this electronic configuration? And okay, we haven't completed the electronic configuration. Here there is 2s having 2 electrons. Now 2p is first half filled, then it is going to get fully filled. Okay, so 2 electrons with plus half spin in 2px and 2py orbitals. Okay, now is there any doubt from what I have taught you as of now? Until this point, anybody having any doubts? Jayashree, is that idea clear? Neena?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Ritanya, how about you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Vishwa? Yogeshwaran? Okay. So, how about that, Ashrika? Are you all there?
Yes, ma'am.
As much. Okay. So now, the next one what we are going to see is how it comes into when we are discussing on sp3 hybridization, how it is coming. Okay, this is our question now. So you have carbon atom, like when you are taking methane, it is having a carbon atom. Okay, but what is the simple electronic configuration of carbon atom? 1s orbital having 2 electrons, 2s orbital also having 2 electrons, 2p orbital which is split into 3 having 1 electron each in each orbital. Okay, so to get into this hybridization, what should happen? It should go into its excited state. Excited state means what? This is ground state. Excited state means it should gain some energy and go into a higher energy level. So this excited state is marked as C star. Just a star means high energy level. Okay. Okay. So 1s orbital doesn't go into any difference. Only the outer orbitals, like the principal quantum number should be the same that of outer shell. Okay, outer orbital. So 2s and 2p. Here it is the same, isn't it? 1s, then 2s and 2p, they are the outer orbitals, isn't it? They will undergo excitation, and what will happen to them? Like 2px, which was already filled by 1 electron. Now 2py, it was also filled by 1 electron. And this one will shift into or jump into the next energy, that is to the 2pz. More energy has been gained. That will make 1 electron to jump into what 2pz orbital. So now see, there is 1 electron in 2s orbital and 1 electron each in 2px, 2py and 2pz. As much is clear, everybody? When it goes to a higher energy level,
I can't understand.
What happened, Ragesh?
The this one how it's shifted, I can't understand.
Okay. So see, once more I'm going to explain this. Like this is a possible doubt always. Okay. So carbon which was in ground state, you are simply taking elemental carbon. From charcoal you get elemental carbon. From graphite you get elemental carbon. Okay. So you got one elemental carbon which is like just in a standard temperature and pressure condition. Okay, imagine that much. You are having some charcoal in your hand in your room temperature somewhere. Okay, that is having this electronic configuration, that is 1s2, 2s2 and 2p2. This is the normal electronic configuration. Am I right? Now, when it is forming a compound, or when it has formed a compound, we are checking its history, how that compound formed, okay, or how that compound is existing. That history we are checking. Okay, so now scientists have understood what carbon atom has gone into an excited state by gaining some energy from the surroundings. And that excited state means what? Higher energy level. That higher energy level, it has gone. And what happened? Whenever one atom is in a higher energy level or an excited state, or it has gone to an excited state, means that absorbed energy will be transferred to the ground state electrons, like the outermost shell where the electron is fully filled or paired, that will go into an unpaired state. Okay, that means it will go into a high reactive state. Is that clear, Ragesh? Okay, so in that excited state, what will happen? This particular electron which was in minus half spin, it will take up that energy so that it can jump into the other vacant orbit, and all of them can be simultaneously in the same state, that is plus half spin. and being they are not at all paired, these 4 of these electrons are not paired, so they are in high reactive state. Okay, now they can go into reaction in a better way. So before that, these are like 2s is in one energy state, like here it is means this 2py, 2p x and 2pz is in a higher energy state. Is that the same? No, 2s orbital is in a lower energy state. This 2p orbitals, they are in a bit higher energy state. But at that state, this reaction will not happen in a uniform way. Okay, for the formation of that compound, these orbitals should become or should reach into a same energy level. All the orbitals should arrive into a same energy level. Okay, let me tell you. What if, like, without learning this alphabet, some students are there in the class, some students are there with the knowledge of alphabets. Okay, some kids. Okay, imagine that. Now, what should a teacher do? The ones who don't know alphabets, she has to teach that kids what alphabets are, and then club the class together and then go for words, right? Likewise, here this 2s and 2p orbitals should be mixed up together to form another orbital or hybridized orbitals which are of same energy. Now, is the idea clear? This is the basic idea we have to get. Okay. Now, what all are getting mixed up here? To know that, very simple. It's very simple. Like whatever orbitals are present there. Okay. And who all are half filled, they all will undergo hybridization according to the requirement of the reaction. That is the last sentence. Okay. So let it be like this. Whatever orbitals are half filled and whatever orbitals are in that higher energy state, C star, okay, excited state, these will undergo mixing up to form hybridized orbital according to the requirement of reaction. If the reaction requires 4 orbitals, all these 4 like 2s, 1 2s is there and 3 2p is there. If 4 vacancy or 4 hybridized orbitals are required, all these 4, that is 1 2s plus 3 2p, they will mix together and they will form total 4 number of sp3 hybridized orbital. What does that mean? Total 4, this 4 means total 4 hybridized orbitals has formed. This s means one of the orbital which has mixed together is s orbital. P3 means 3 p orbitals, 3 numbers of p orbitals has undergone this mixing with s orbital. That is the meaning. Okay. So this 2s orbital plus 2px plus 2py plus 2pz, collectively known as 3 2p orbitals. Okay. This undergoes mixing up, and total how many orbitals has undergone mixing? Total how many boxes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Isn't it? So, how many orbitals has undergone hybridization? That many orbitals should be there after hybridization. So, 4 number of sp3 hybridized orbital has been formed. Is this idea clear? Very clear now? Anybody having any small doubt or any confusion, please ask me. Because without this topic, you cannot go further when it comes to reactions, when it comes to coordination chemistry, and all, for all of that, you need this. Okay. And sp3 and this hybridization topic, it is always a question when it comes to JEE Main or NEET or JEE, even in JEE Advanced, they ask the question related to hybridization. Okay, so it is that much important. Okay. Yes, Harishankar.
Totally how many classifications are there, ma'am? Like SP3, SP2, how many do we have?
Many of them are there. For carbon atom, it is sp3, sp2 and sp. Okay, for carbon atom, it is only 3. It is sp3, sp2 and sp hybridization. That's all. But when it comes to transition elements, d orbital will be also including. Okay, d orbital will also involve in hybridization. So there sp3d, sp3d2, these are common, or dsp2, dsp3 are there. Okay, it is something different. Okay, why dsp2 and why sp3d, these differences you are going to see in that topic. Okay, it is like d orbital of the previous shell and s and p orbital of the next outermost shell will get mixed up, means dsp. Okay, dsp3, dsp2, that kind of hybridization will be there. Or if it is of same outer shell, means sp3d, sp3d2, etc. will be going on. That we are going to see in detailed in coordination chemistry. Okay, for structures and all it is required. Okay, so as much is clear. Have you all written down the notes? Ashwika? Yes, Siddharth, how about you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Neenashri?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So any doubts, anybody? Sri Hari Krishna? Hari Krishna, are you there?
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
No doubts, ma'am. Clear, ma'am.
Okay, okay. The trouble I was asking you because you are just in and out at some intervals. That's why I'm asking you. Like your network connection was a bit troubling. Yeah. So shall we go to the further explanation or need one more minute to complete with the notes? Yes, completed, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So what is it? Now we are going to see the example of sp3 hybridized orbital and the atom. Okay. So number one example I can give you is what? Our simple meeting. Okay. sp3 example. We can discuss two examples. Okay. Just one is not enough for you. Okay. The last class I was just like, okay, one example, like I was just skimming through it, but that is not enough for you. Here one carbon atom is there. Okay. For the time being, I am muting you, Sri Hari Krishna. Okay. So here there is one carbon atom. Okay. Now I am drawing 4 lobes for it. Okay. It is like one lobe here, one sp3 hybridized, another lobe is here, another sp3 hybridized, another lobe is here, another sp3 hybridized, another lobe is here. It is not in a square shape. It is in actually a tetrahedral shape, that is like this. Okay, can you imagine this tetrahedral shape? Is it easy for you to imagine this tetrahedral shape? Have you got any ideas? Anybody? How is it looking like?
Ma'am, double dumbbell.
sp3 hybridized or that
Like 3D.
in 3D, how it is looking like? Two simple examples I can give you. That is why I'm asking you. Any ideas you have got?
Like diamond.
Not diamond. Okay.
Triangle.
Triangle, like it is this triangle, Asvika. Like it is having one more hand. Triangle is like, or pyramid is like, or pyramid. If you are taking pyramid, pyramid is having one lightning tower also. How it would be? Something like that. But very simple example I can give you. A camera's tripod stand. How it would be, isn't it? 3 of the legs will be for the ground and one for mounting the camera. One example. Another example is what, as I said, if you are having a triangular pyramid, it is not a square pyramid, a triangular pyramid means it is also having three sides and there is one tower on the top of it, means how it would be? It would be like that. Or another simple example, you are having fan over your head, isn't it? What about that ceiling? To the connection to the ceiling is one of them. Like this one will be the ceiling connection, and the leaf it is bent towards ground means how it would be. Okay, the leaf would be like this, isn't it? In that angle. Okay, something close to that. But in a better understanding, when it comes to a structural idea, you can also say that this sp3 hybridized carbon atom is always having, this is one example, like one example or one form, okay, one form in the sense, these three I have fixed to the ground and this one I have mounted to the upper side. That's all. Okay. What about in a plane? You are considering this in a room means how it should be. It should be like this is on the plane of paper. You are taking a paper, you are taking it in your hand means one will be like this, one will be bent like this. Okay. And one is towards you and one is away from you. How is that looking like? Imagine, can you imagine that? Like one is away from you, and one is towards you. This hard line means, the solid hard line means it is facing you, towards you. The dashed line means it is away from you. That is like this. One is towards you, one is away from you. Okay, like this. One is towards and one is away from you. The other one is on the plane of the paper. How it would be? That is the exact form of sp3 hybridized lobes. All the four lobes are like this in this arrangement. Is this clear? Anybody having any doubt? This wedge formula, this formula is known as, this type of writing the structure is known as wedge structure. This type of formula is known as wedge structure. Okay, this you have to learn in this chapter itself. That is why I'm giving you an advanced information here. Okay, now you are having this methane, and this methane is having one carbon atom, and this carbon atom is having one hydrogen this side, okay, and another hydrogen here in this side. Okay, clear? Now one towards backward of this carbon and one towards your side, that is front side of this carbon atom. Now how it would be? This is the arrangement of methane. Is this idea clear for all of you? Anybody having any doubts? Clear? Anybody having any small doubts, please ask me, because this wedge formula, this wedge structure and all is a bit confusing, that I am already knowing. But still, have you understand a bit about this tetrahedral structure? Tetrahedral structure is having two hands on the plane, and one is towards you from the plane and one is away from you from that plane. Okay, is that clear? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody having any doubts? Okay. So,
No, ma'am.
yes, Tarun, have you got anything to ask me?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So, is this clear? The example of methane is clear. Shall we go to the next example? The next example is Ethane. Okay, ethane. Ethane is one another example. Because why I'm discussing ethane is because next we are going to discuss on sp2 hybridization with ethene. So with ethane you can compare the structure. Okay, that is all. Okay, simply the lobes are still the same. Each carbon atom is having that same for hybridized orbital as earlier. This is also sp3 hybridized carbon atom. Why? All the bonds are single bond. Means it is sp3 hybridized carbon atom. If a carbon atom is forming 4 single bonds, that means 4 sigma bonds, it means that carbon atom is what? sp3 hybridized carbon atom. Is that clear? Okay. If a carbon atom is forming only sigma bonds, that is 4 sigma bonds are formed by a carbon atom, means what? It is sp3 hybridized carbon. Clear? Okay. So now, what is the structure of ethane? CH3 single bond CH3, or you can write it as C, here one H, here it is bonded to another carbon atom, that is again having a bond with hydrogen. Now again, each carbon atom is having that wedge formula, one towards you, one hydrogen, and one is away from you, another hydrogen. Okay, here also same pattern. One hydrogen towards you and another hydrogen away from you. Wedge formula, what you are drawing is one solid line towards you, like a triangle which comes bigger on your side, and the other one dashed line, but first one is bigger, then smaller, smaller, and a dot last. Okay, this is the wedge formula. Just to know that which is on towards your side and which is away from your side. Just to know that. Okay. Okay. Wedge formula, we always write it like this. Same plane. Then when it comes to 3D, that is towards you, which is solid triangle. Away from you is dashed line, which is having longer ones, 2 shorter ones. Is this clear? Okay. So this is the structure of ethane. Okay. Have you all finished with the notes? Okay. Okay. So let us go for sp2 hybridization. Have you all completed with the notes? Anybody having troubles with the notes or any doubts? Charu? Harini?
No.
Okay. So Jayashree, any doubts?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now let us go for the next one. The next one is sp2 hybridization. What is sp2 hybridization? As we said before, there is carbon atom. Again, we are always writing this electronic configuration. No doubt we have to write it. Okay, otherwise this mixing up, what is getting mixing up or how it is getting mixed up, we cannot understand that. Okay, so for understanding that, we should write this electronic configuration showing what all lobes are containing what all electrons. We should know that, we should specify it. Excited state, what happens? Same again, same excited state. All these time there is no difference. Only at the part of mixing up there is a difference. Okay. So in the 2s also one. Then the next one, there it is Splitted. Okay, what happens? In the excited state, energy is gained by this electron and it will jump to the vacant orbital, and all of the 4 orbitals, that is 2s and all the 3 2p orbitals, the 2px, 2py and the 2pz orbitals, all the 4 orbitals are now half filled. Okay, now what will happen? sp2 hybridized carbon. The simple example is CH2 double bond CH2, isn't it? It says ethene is one example. We are taking the example of ethene. Okay. In this one, you are seeing what? C, H, H, one bond, another bond, then C, H, H. How many sigma bonds? This is one sigma, this is another sigma, this is another sigma bond, and this is another sigma bond. And one bond between carbon and carbon, that is also a sigma bond. But this one is a pi bond. Okay, what is happening here? Here what is happening is, this carbon atom, that is, I am numbering it, okay. C1, the carbon atom 1 and carbon atom 2. Carbon atom 1 has formed 3 sigma bond and 1 pi bond. Okay, among that, 1 sigma bond is towards carbon 2 and that pi bond is also towards carbon 2. What about carbon 2? Same. What? 1 sigma bond and 1 pi bond with carbon atom 1 and 2 sigma bonds with 2 other hydrogen atoms. Clear? Is that idea clear? Now what is happening? How this sp2 hybridization has happened? What happens is, what is the requirement here? Here the requirement is, you need only 3 hybridized orbital for the formation of sigma bonds. For the formation of sigma bonds, or in a better language, for the formation of 3 sigma bonds, you need only 3 orbitals to undergo hybridization. You need only 3 orbitals to undergo hybridization. Clear? You need only 3 orbitals to undergo hybridization. The orbital which doesn't undergo hybridization will stay as such. Okay, so which all are undergoing hybridization? 2s will undergo hybridization definitely, and 1 2p orbital and another 2p orbital will also undergo hybridization. What happens to 2py? It will not undergo hybridization and it will stay as such as that dumbbell itself. No difference. But what about this 2s plus 2px plus 2pz? What will happen? 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals are formed. Okay, 1 2s orbital and 1 2px orbital and 1 2pz orbital. They will mix up together to form 3 numbers of sp2 hybridized orbitals. Is it clear? Anybody having any doubts?
Why did 2py didn't undergo hybridization?
Okay, because that is our requirement. See, only 3 sigma bonds is required. How many sigma bonds is required? That many hybridized orbital is the only thing we need. Okay, the other orbital can be exempted. So, how many orbitals undergone hybridization? That many hybridized orbitals are formed. If hybridized orbitals are formed, all the hybridized orbitals should be undergoing sigma bond. So, how many sigma bond is required here? Only 3. So, only 3 hybridization is required. Means 3 orbitals should be undergoing hybridization. That is only the requirement. Why bothering for going for more energy? See, the hybridization is an energy requiring thing. Okay, it requires more energy to mixing up and all that thing. Okay, so if you can exempt at least one orbital without hybridization, it will go for that. Okay, that unsaturation is better for them. Okay, because these unsaturated ones are having more what they are staying more closer together. The carbon atoms are staying closer together when it comes to unsaturated what compounds. Okay, so it is made possible by the unhybridized orbital. This unhybridized orbital enables these two carbon atoms to stay closer together. The bond length is lesser. Okay, now is that clear? Any
Yes,
more
ma'am.
doubts? Yeah, good. Any more doubts? Anybody?
Ma'am,
Oh, yes.
ma'am, explain the structure of ethane once again, ma'am.
Ethane.
Ethane.
Ethene.
Ethane, ma'am.
Ethene. Okay. See, ethene, the structure, when it comes to the structure of ethene, in the hybridization, can I show you in the hybridized orbital form? Okay. So once again, we are going to see that. So 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals are formed. As much have you got the idea, everyone? Ashika, have you got that idea about how far I have taught you now? Like up to that formation of 3 sp2 hybridized orbital, is that clear?
Yes,
Everyone?
ma'am.
Yes, good. Everyone, is that clear? Siddharth? Any doubts? Siddharth, are you there? Okay, Jayashree? Yes, okay. So now we are going for the further explanation among this sp2 hybridized orbital. So here we are going to see the structure of ethene with the hybridized orbital. Okay. So now let us see how it is. So here what happens is you have ethene. And the structure of ethene is having one carbon atom which is singly bonded to another carbon atom through a sigma bond. And this carbon atom has formed a double bond with that same other carbon atom, and it is known as pi bond. And why it is known as pi bond, we are going to explain in this hybridization topic. Okay. Each carbon has each sigma bonds, 2 more sigma bonds with hydrogen atom. This carbon atom is also having 1 sigma bond with hydrogen. Here also this carbon atom is having another sigma bond with hydrogen atom. Is that clear? This is the structure of ethene. The bond structure of the covalent bond structure of ethene is this. Okay. When it comes to the explanation with sp2 hybridized orbital, how many sp2 hybridized orbitals are there? How many sp2 hybridized orbitals have been formed? Jayashree, can you tell me?
3, ma'am.
3 sp2 hybridized orbital has been formed. How? 1 2s orbital and 2 2p orbitals has mixed up and it has undergone hybridization and formed 1 plus 2. 3 sp2 hybridized orbitals. Clear? Now what has happened? This sp2 hybridized orbitals is in the form of triangular pattern. Okay, each one is in 120 angle, 120 degrees angle. Okay, that is an equilateral triangle. Like this. Okay. So this is a trigonal planar structure. That is, every carbon atom and every hydrogen atom is in the same plane. Earlier case, what it was? Only 3 atoms, that is 1 carbon atom and 2 hydrogen atom was in the same plane. The other 2 hydrogens was from one away from you and one towards you, isn't it? Here it is, all of them are in the same plane. Okay, there is no requirement of this wedge structure and all. No requirement. Okay. Now what has happened? What has happened is carbon, one sp2, the other carbon's sp2 is here. Okay. And trigonal planar. Again, this is one. And here is one. This is bonded to hydrogen atom. Hydrogen atom is having only oneness. Okay. That oneness is in spherical shape. That is also you know. Okay. So, two electrons, they are paired, covalent bonded or sigma bonded. And another one. Here it is also like this hydrogen atom. Here also it is like this. And hydrogen atom is paired to it. Okay. Is this clear? Is this idea clear? About single bonds, all the sigma bonds we have drawn. Okay. Sigma, this is also sigma, 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 and sigma bond. All the sigma bonds we have drawn. Now what about pi bond? Okay. For pi bond, plane is different. You are going to the next plane. Okay. The plane is different. So for that, for the easiness of handling, we can draw a structure like, now your paper is like this. How about if you are tilting your paper like this? What will happen? Okay, let me show you one thing. Okay, you are having a board, and in this board, if your carbon atom is here, one carbon atom is here, and hydrogen is here and here, one hydrogen atom is here and here. Now you are tilting it like this. What will happen? That all the 6 atoms, yes, 6 atoms are here in the same plane. Now what will happen when there is another py orbital penetrating through this? What if like you are having a paper and you have put a hole on 2 sides and inserted 2 pencils through it? How it would be looking like? Likewise, the unhybridized, you should remember that unhybridized 2py orbital. Okay, we have omitted it there without encouraging it to go to hybridization, but we have use for it, and that is how we are seeing it now. And here I am going to show it to you. Now I have what plane, like I have put the paper in this plane. Okay, so how it would be looking like? Carbon atom to the carbon atom, and one is towards you, isn't it? When I have tilted the paper, one is towards you, one is away from you. One hydrogen atom is towards you, and the other one is away from you, isn't it? I have, like it was in the same plane, now I have tilted it. When it was in the same plane, my fingers was here and here, but when I have tilted it, one is towards you and one is away from you, isn't it? Likewise, excuse me, when I have tilted this compound, what happened? The hydrogen, 2 hydrogens are towards you, 2 hydrogens are away from you, and these carbon atoms is in the same plane. And here, that py, 2 py orbitals are staying as such without any hybridization. Clear? But what is happening? See, these 2 orbitals, these 2 dumples are close to each other, but not too close for repulsion. There is no repulsion, but there is no it is not too far apart, it is not too close together. So there is no repulsion, but what happens? They will have a sideways bond. They will bond in a sideways pattern. Like if one of that pencil is like that and the other pencil, remember that penetration of pencils through a paper. One pencil is like this, the other pencil is like this. They will overlap in a sideways manner. How it will be? Okay, that is what happens when it comes to the structure of ethene. And this overlapping in a cloud format. Cloud means what? Over the plane and below the plane. That cloud type of overlapping is known as pi bonding. This is known as pi bonding. Now, is the idea clear? Everyone, anybody having any single doubt or any confusions, please ask me.
No doubts.
No doubts. Are you all sure? Everybody is sure about it? This concept, because this concept is very, very, very important. When it comes to NEET, JEE, whatever exams you are going to attend, this is a very important topic to be covered. Okay. So if there is any doubts, ask me. Okay. So is this all clear? Have you all completed with the notes? Anybody having any more doubts?
No.
Okay. So everybody finished with the notes. Anybody yet to finish, please raise your hands. Okay. I hope everyone has completed the notes. Am I right? Okay. So shall we move to the next one? SP hybridization. Everyone turn on your videos. I want to see you all. Harishankar, Harini, Kanishka, Dinashri. Okay. Ambarish. Rajesh Ram. Yeah. You are there. Okay. Yes. So shall we move to the next topic? Are we all sure? Yeah, good. So in the next topic, we are going to see the SP hybridization. Now, I want all of you to answer together what I am saying. Okay, what I am asking you. Carbon atom, the structure or the electronic configuration. Anybody?
First
Anybody?
box,
Yeah, first box.
one up arrow and one down arrow.
Okay, you can tell it as plus half
Electron.
and minus half.
Half.
Okay. The plus
Yes,
half
ma'am.
minus half notation is important. That is why I'm always using that word. Okay. It is not
Yes,
up
ma'am.
arrow and down arrow. You are representing an electron, and the up arrow is representing plus half and down arrow is representing minus half. So for you to
Then
say
plus half and minus half.
again 1 plus half and minus half. Now this
Then
block
2 plus half.
okay. 2 plus half in each orbital, isn't it?
Yes,
So now carbon in excited state, what it would be looking like?
first box plus half and minus half.
Very good. Next one.
And second box plus half.
Okay.
And in P shell, each box have 1 plus
Plus
half.
half.
1 plus half, 1 plus half.
Okay. So you can tell it as 2px 1 plus half, 2py 1 plus half, likewise. Okay. Now it is sp hybridized carbon atom. So what all should undergo hybridization? Which all of these should undergo hybridization?
2s and 2pz.
2s and 2pz should go hybridization, go into hybridization, and 2px and 2py should be omitted, isn't it? These two should be undergoing hybridization, isn't it? How many hybridized orbital is formed? Ashwika, can you answer me the question? 1 2s orbital and 1 2pz orbital has undergone hybridization. Total how many? Yes.
2.
2. Very good. So 2 sp hybridized orbitals have been formed. Means what? It can form how many sigma bonds? Any carbon atom which has undergone sp hybridization can get only 2 sigma bonds. Okay, the hybridized orbital can undergo only sigma bonds. Here what? 2 s orbital, sorry, 1 s orbital and 1 p orbital has undergone hybridization. That means for the hybridized orbital, 50% character is of s and 50% character is of p orbital. Is this idea clear? Anybody having any confusion? Isn't it? 2 orbitals are mixing up to form hybridized orbital, and one of that mixing orbital is s and another one is p. So when it equally mixed together, the character is 50% of s and 50% of p, isn't it? So that is also there. So here what happens? We are taking the example of ethine. Okay, ethine is all in a single plane. Okay, very single plane, just a single line. Okay, like a pen. Here one carbon atom, here one carbon atom, all the ends are hydrogen. Like in a single line. Okay, this is the structure of ethine. Is that clear? Ethane is very simple. All the 4 atoms, 1H, C, CH. This much only. 1H is here, 1 C is here, 1 C is here, another H is here. Very simple. Okay. It's a single line. What? Compound. It's a single line molecule. Okay. So now what is happening? The C and the another C is having a sigma bond overlapped together, and the another overlap is with hydrogen, another overlap is with hydrogen here. Each carbon atom has overlapping with hydrogen and overlapping to one another. What about this 2px and 2py? We shall see it in the next page. This is too crowded. I don't want to confuse you with this. Okay. Have you all written it down as much? Okay. Continue. Okay, is the idea clear? Everybody finished with the notes? Anybody yet to finish? I think yes. Okay, continue. Okay. Okay, so I'm moving to the next page. In the next page, I'm going to show you the exact structure. In the next page, we are going to see the structure of ethine, the molecule ethine. Okay. In the ethine molecule, carbon atom is triply bonded to another carbon atom and hydrogen atom is present. One hydrogen atom is present. Okay. Now what happens? One sigma bond I have shown you earlier. Okay. Let it be in a light color so that like we can forget about that sigma bond for now. Okay. Only the pi bonds I have to highlight now. Okay. So one sigma bond is here, one sigma bond is here. Okay. And this carbon atom is also here. And one hydrogen atom is here, one hydrogen atom is here, one hydrogen atom is here, and another hydrogen atom is here. There also you are, sorry, only 2 hydrogen atoms are there. Okay, one hydrogen atom and one hydrogen atom. So here, this carbon atom is bonded to hydrogen. This carbon atom is also bonded, sigma bonded to this hydrogen atom. So total 1 sigma bond, 2 sigma bond, 3 sigma bond, isn't it? Total 3 sigma bond in the molecule. Okay. So each carbon atom is undergoing 2 sigma bond each. Clear? As much as clear? Now, what is happening? We are going to take the 2py orbital. Okay, we are talking about 2py orbital. So maroon color represents 2py orbit. Here it is in one carbon atom and here it is in the other carbon atom. These are again not too close together, not too away from each other. So what happens? There is an overlapping happening. This overlapping will enable the electrons to get into a bonding, and that sideways overlap bonding is known as pi bond. Here also it is pi bond. Clear? Anybody having any doubts? Okay. So now let us see the other one, which is that one 2px. So here I am going to write it as one lobe is towards you, one lobe is away from you. One lobe is towards you, that another lobe is away from you. Here also the sideways overlapping is here. Here also the sideways overlapping is happening. Okay, this is pi bond. Okay, so one carbon atom to another carbon atom, there is one pi bond and one more pi bond. Okay, one more pi bond. This is also a pi bond and one sigma bond, which is shown in black color now. For now, I am going to write in a black color. Okay, so 3 bonds between 2 carbon atoms. Of those, one is sigma bond and the 2 of the others are pi bonds. Is this idea clear? Totally clear? Any doubts or any confusions? Anybody? Okay, so this is the basic idea of hybridization. Okay, now more about this hybridization. Like after this hybridization, the hybridized orbital, the property or the character of the hybridized orbital, we are going to discuss. Up to here, we had discussed only the structure of hybridized orbital or how this hybridization has happened. That's all. But in the next way, after hybridization, after this compounds has formed, what is the importance of this hybridization or what is the property of the hybridized orbital? Why does hybridized orbitals are preferred? Isn't it? That is also an important question. Okay, why these atoms are like bothering to go into an excited state, as we know that excited state is not stable. They are bothering to go to that excited state and then they are involved in hybridization. Then they are undergoing this hybridization. Hybridized orbitals are formed. After that, this bonding is happening. Why all this work is being taken up by these atoms? That we should know, isn't it? Because the result is something good. Okay, very simple example I am going to tell you. Why we are all learning, why we are all studying, why we are all practicing to get an admission in a better college, to get a better education, isn't it? For a better education, for a better future, we are doing it, isn't it? Why we are studying? For a better future, for to do something we love to do, isn't it? That is why we are all learning, we are all studying. Okay, so the same thing, they are having, these atoms or molecules are having some stability after undergoing hybridization. Okay, during this hybridization they might not be stable, but after hybridization they are all getting a better stability. Okay, that is why they are going to this hybridization and this hybridized orbitals are formed. Okay, so let us get into that topic. Everybody finish with this notes? Anybody having any doubts? Okay. So here we are going to going back to our slide presentation. There we are going to see this. See the methane we were discussing in the last class. Do you remember? Last class also we were discussing about this formation of covalent bonds. but not detailed about hybridization. Today we have seen in detail about hybridization. Okay, here ethene, the hybridization we have seen. Here also ethine, we have seen the hybridization. Is this all clear for you? Anybody having any doubts? No doubts. Okay. So here what is happening? Why hybridization is preferred? Hybridization is having an influence in the bond length and the bond enthalpy. What is bond enthalpy? The strength of the bond, the energy of the bond. Okay. They are more stronger when bonded, like this hybridized orbital, when they are bonded together, they are having a better strength. That is why they are preferring it, okay, over like normal bonding. Okay, so this sp3 hybridized orbital, there what is there? One s orbital is there and 3 p orbital is there. So what is happening there? There, out of 4, only one s orbital is present. Means if you are taking it in percentage, what is it? 1/4 of the percentage is S character. Means what? 25% S character. Okay. Then how many p orbital is there? All the other 3. 3/4 is what? P character, p orbitals, isn't it? 3 p orbitals are there. So 3 p orbital means 3/4. Total 4 are there. 3 of them are p. Means 75% p character is there for sp3 hybridized orbital. Is this idea clear? Some confusion will be there because it is not related to organic chemistry. It is some mathematics, some calculations. Okay. Then what about sp2? Total 3 orbitals are there for hybridization. Total 3 orbitals are there. 1s and 2 numbers of p orbitals. And what happens? So 1/3 into 100, that much percentage S character. 2/3 into 100, that much P character. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that is about 33.33 something percentage. In SP, what is happening? As I said, 50% S character and 50% P character. Why? Only one S and one P are there. Half of them is Y. Half of the contribution is from S orbital. Half of the contribution is from P orbital. So what is this? 50-50. Okay, let us see that in detail. Okay, I want to go into the details because this is something important when it comes to the calculation. See, when it comes to this organic chemistry in IIT examinations, especially IIT examinations, what they will do is all those reactions, all those things they have already asked and we are all familiar with it already. They know it already. Okay. What they will do is they will ask from in between, clubbing organic with physical chemistry. Okay. They will ask what is the molecular formula and how many percentage you have got from as a product and all. They will ask. They might ask, especially in JEE Advanced. Okay. So at that time, we will be surprised to see such a question, why they have mixed up two entirely different topics. For us, it would be like we would be surprised to see why they are asking in this manner. That would be a question we will be asking ourselves. So you should know how to calculate this. Okay. So for that alone, we are going to discuss it in detail. Okay. So let us see that again. Okay, so in sp3 hybridized carbon, okay, how many s orbital is there? Anybody? Harini? Harini?
One s orbital.
One s orbital is there. Then how many p orbital?
3 p orbitals.
3 into p orbital. Okay, so total how many orbital? 4 sp3 orbitals. Isn't it? So what is the percentage? 1 s orbital divided by total 4 sp3. Isn't it? That means 1/4 s character. Am I right? That is 1s character plus 3p character. Am I right? Okay. Let us just say you have taken 1 milk chocolate and 3 dark chocolate. Okay, very simple example. Like you might have got this taste. So you just imagine the taste. Okay. You have got 3 dark chocolate, 90% dark chocolate. Have anyone tried it? It is really bitter. Okay. So 3 dark chocolate and 1 milk chocolate. How it would be like? Some milk chocolate, that sweet taste will be there, but mostly it would be bitter, isn't it? Likewise, it would be like 1/4 S character will be there. That means 25%. Only 25%, some sweetness will be there. But most of it will be bitter. That is 3/4 P character will be there. That means 75% is of P character. Okay. And the angle of a tetrahedron is, or the tetrahedral is what? 109 degree. How many minutes? 109 degree and 4 minutes.
28.
28 minutes. Okay. 109 degree and 28 minutes is the angle between carbon atom and hydrogen atom in an sp3 hybridized carbon atom system. Okay, that is in a tetrahedral structure, each bonding, the bond angle is 109 degree and 28 minutes. And S character is 25% and P character is 75%. Is that clear? Everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Rani, okay. So, have you all completed the notes here in this topic, in this area?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Are you all
Yes,
sure?
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Let
ma'am.
us go back to that slide again so that we can
Okay,
see
ma'am.
if there is some other information there. See,
Okay,
here,
ma'am.
okay. So here what happens is, the tetrahedral is all about methane. Okay. Here when it comes to ethane, the bond angle is a bit different. Why? Here the bond angle is a bit different because the carbon-carbon single bond, okay, that will enable the others to go a bit more bending. Like the carbon-carbon single bond will cause some repulsion for other hydrogens. The hydrogen atom being very small, they can stay even more closer together. No issues. But the carbon-carbon bond, or the one carbon atom and the other carbon atom, there is a bulk. Okay. There is a bulk and it requires more space. So that will cause a bending, okay, to the other hydrogen. So the carbon-hydrogen bonding in ethane is 111, that is 111.17 degrees. That is the angle. Okay. And what about the bond length? Carbon to hydrogen bond length is lesser than carbon to carbon bond length. Why? Very simple answer. Just now I have told you the reason. Think. Because carbon and carbon, both carbon atoms are staying close together means they are bulk. They cannot stay that much closer together due to the repulsion. The 1s orbital is still fully filled. Remember the 1s orbital, which is the inner orbital, they are fully filled, yet fully filled, and they will repel each other. So it should stay a bit farther away. So the bond length between carbon and carbon will be more than carbon and hydrogen. Hydrogen is a small atom, okay. It is less bulk. There is no bulk in it. It is less bulkier than carbon. So carbon to hydrogen bond length will be lesser than carbon to carbon bond length. So carbon to carbon, they will stay away. Carbon to hydrogen, they stay a bit more closer together. Is that clear? So carbon hydrogen bond in ethane is 109 degree point, sorry, 109.40 picometer. Okay. And carbon to carbon bond is 153.51 picometer. Clear? Anybody having any more doubts? Anybody having any doubts from this topic, Rajesh?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All clear? Shall we move to the next one? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you all finished with the notes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sure. Okay. Okay. So in the next one, we are going to say about the sp2 hybrid orbital. Okay. Again, as I told you, there one s orbital and two p orbital has undergone hybridization. So 1/3 s character and 2/3 p character. So it would be like 33.33 that much s character and 66.66 something that much p character, isn't it? That is the way it should be. Okay. So the bond length will be a bit more closer together. Why? This pi bonding is like the overlapping of those lobes, isn't it? For that to overlap, this much distance, is it possible? No, it should be a bit more closer. Only then that overlapping will happen, isn't it? So the bond length is a bit more lesser, even if there is the steric strain, that is the bulk strain. The bulk is there. There is a bit strain for those carbon atoms to stay closer together. Still, it will go for that because this unsaturation, that pi bond, that pi cloud, delocalized electron, or that pi cloud is important for that compound. For that compound to exist, the stability of that compound depends on that pi bonding. For that, it will tolerate that issue. What issue? The steric strain issue, the bulk issue. It will tolerate with that. Okay, it will put up with that. So, what is happening in sp2 hybrid orbital? There, what happens is, what? In sp2 hybridized orbital, there is one s orbital and two p orbital. That is total 3 orbitals, isn't it? Of those, one is s orbital. So x character is what is equal to 1/3 into 100. That means 33.33% s character. Okay. What about p character? P character is total. How many p orbital is there? 2 p orbitals. So 2 p
2/3 into 100.
100. That is
66.66.
66. That means percentage of p character. Why this is important? Because sometimes they will ask questions from this area. Okay. Like you will be given an organic reaction. Okay. And the product is having this much s character. How much s character is there? How much p character is there? What hybridization it is undergoing? That kind of a question is getting, means you have to work from first to last to get the product. So first of all, you should know all the organic reaction reagents, all the reactant product, everything. After that, you have to find which carbon atom has undergone what hybridization and what is the character, etc. Okay. So it will be like a long process for you. So for that, you should be in practice with this thing. Okay, is that clear? All of you written down the notes? Yes? Okay. So anybody having any doubts, any confusions with this one? I think no. Okay. So then the next one is about what? The sp hybrid orbital. S character is from one s orbital and p character is from one p orbital. So it is 50-50 sharing. I don't have to work out on it on the board again. Do I? Anybody want me to work it out again?
No, ma'am.
It is only a 50-50 thing. And what happens? It is like closer together because two P to P overlapping should be there, isn't it? So for ethyne, the carbon and carbon should be more closer together. So which one is having less bond length? The least bond length is for ethyne. The carbon in ethyne is having least bond length. Then carbon double bond of ethene. The most lengthier carbon bond is for ethane, which is only 1 sigma bond. Is that clear? That means the more the number of pi bonds, the more closer the atoms will be. The more the number of pi bonds, the more closer will be the atoms undergoing that unsaturation. Is this clear? The idea is clear. Concept is clear. Anybody having any doubts? Okay. So as much is clear. Any troubles? Okay. So have you all finished with the notes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, everybody. Okay. Now, what about the bond length? Okay. Again, the C double bond C, that bond length is 133.9 picometers. Here I have gone through the details. Okay. And almost 120 is the angle, the triangular planar structure. It is 121.3 between what? HCC. Okay, HCC, that angle, bond angle is 121.3 degree. Okay. So next one is what? Our carbon-carbon triple bond. There, the bond length between carbon and carbon is 120.3 picometer, whereas the carbon to hydrogen bond length is 106.0 picometer. Okay, 106 picometer. What is the bond angle of CCH in ethyne? In ethyne, what is the bond angle between carbon and hydrogen? One carbon, another carbon and hydrogen. What is the bond angle? Somebody, anybody? Tarun?
I mean, ethane.
In ethyne, C triple bond, C single bond H. What is the bond angle? (180 degrees), isn't it? It is straight. This is a straight one, like this. Isn't it? One hydrogen, one carbon, and one hydrogen. So it is all in a straight. What? In a straight line. Okay. So the bond angle is what? 180 degrees, isn't it? Okay. Is it clear, everyone? Okay. So let us go to the next topic. I am not going to explain on the next topic. Okay. It is not difficult, but about the character. Okay. The character of hybridization. Okay. While it has undergone hybridization and after hybridization, what has happened? The electronegativity of carbon has been affected. How it is affected? Okay. What is it? The greater S character is there. Okay. If X character is more, that means electronegativity is more. What is electronegativity? Anybody?
Gain electrons.
The tendency to gain electrons or attract electrons to itself. That is electronegativity. So as S character increases, electronegativity, that is to pull electrons towards itself, that will increase. So which one is having greater electronegativity? Ethene, ethane, or ethyne?
Ethyne.
Ethyne. Why?
Because it has
Has
Sp hybridization and H has 50% character.
50% S character is there for sp hybridized carbon atom, and therefore electronegativity is more for sp hybridized orbital. That means ethyne will have more electronegativity than ethene and ethane. Okay, so that is what we can say. The order of electronegativity is like what? Which is having greatest electronegativity? Ethyne. Then the lesser is what? Ethene. Then the lesser is ethane. What is happening? Once more we can explain. That is, we can simply say that S character is more, means more electronegative. Okay, more electronegative. Okay, so which is more electronegative? Because sp is having 50% S character. Okay, sp2 is having 33.33% S character. Okay, then sp3 is having only 25% S character. Okay, so ethyne, which is having triple bond, is having more S character or more electronegativity than ethene, than ethane. Idea is clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Anybody having any doubts?
Ma'am,
So
why
far?
if the
Why?
S character is more electronegative, ma'am?
Why is the S character is more or S orbital is possessing more electronegativity? Is that your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the simple answer is, when you are taking, okay, let us take carbon atom itself. For carbon atom, what is the first orbital? Spherical orbital. The first orbital is what? 1s. Am I right? Okay. Then outer to that, what is there? 2s orbital is the next one. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next one is what? 2p orbital. Am I right? Okay, it is not spherical actually. It is that lobular structure. Forget it. I'm just writing it in a discrete energy levels. That's it. Which is closer to the nucleus? Which one is closer to nucleus? 2s or 2p is closer to the nucleus?
2p.
2p is closer to the nucleus or 2s is closer to nucleus?
2s.
2s.
2s is closer to nucleus, isn't it? So the nucleus is pulling it, isn't it? It is actually holding it tight, isn't it? Which will get that nuclear charge more? The impact of nuclear charge is more for S or P?
P.
S.
Yes.
Why P? See, once more I am going to tell you. There is one nucleus. Okay. Around the nucleus, this S orbital is there, 1s orbital. Okay. Apart from that 1s orbital space, there will be 2s orbital. Okay. And, sorry, 2s orbital. 2s orbital is there. Then there is this lobes and all, which is having 2p, okay, 2px, 2py, 2pz, etc. Okay. All those things, these area is not filled at all because these are all already what taken up by this space by 2s and 1s and all. Okay. So this 2p is having only access here in the outer areas only. Okay. This outer areas only it is having access. So what about this? Now what is happening? 1s is closer to the nucleus. 2s is somewhat close to the nucleus. 2p is not closer to the nucleus. Which is having the impact of nucleus more? 2p or 2s?
2s.
2s is having more impact from nucleus. Simply imagine you are sitting in a first bench and second bench and fifth bench. which one will be having the attraction of teachers more and more? First bench teachers will know, like students, you will be thinking like teacher will be looking at us more because like expecting more from us, isn't it? In the middle benches, what we will be thinking, okay, some attention we are getting, some what if we are not too much attentive also, that is also okay, that might be what we students, as a students, we will be thinking. Okay, what about the last bench? Any business can happen there, isn't it? So likewise, here in the 2s orbital, the nucleus is having a moderate, a good nuclear pull is there. But 2p orbital, it is lesser because the lobes are having only a small area to occupy. This cannot attract more electron because it cannot hold it. Even if it is attracting, it cannot hold it. Okay, but 2s, it is a spherical orbital. It has ample of space, plus it has the influence from the nucleus. So what will happen? This 2s or the s orbitals will have more electron negativity than p orbital. Jayashree, is your doubt cleared? Jayashree, are you there? Okay. So is
Yes,
this
ma'am.
idea clear? Yes, good. Is this idea clear, all of you?
Yes,
Anybody
ma'am.
having any doubts?
No, ma'am.
No doubts.
Okay. So for now, we will we can wind up this topic for the time being. Okay. And we will continue in the next class with the same chapter. Okay.
Yes.
Anybody having any doubts, who wants to ask me the doubts, you can stay back. Others, you can leave. After completing the notes, everybody can leave. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, good night. Rutanya, have you finished the notes?